down up. And I don't answer none of it, but I haven't been to jail and I don't have no warrants. Whenever the police stop me, I don't have no warrants. I bet you everybody else that got, you blinked your eye at the light, we got a warrant for you. And if you go down in Texas or anywhere else, before you get out of jail, hey man, that warrant is coming up. I have stacks of those tickets. You know, last week when the police stopped me and took the car, he didn't write me no ticket for driver's license, nothing. All he wanted to do was take the car. That's why I told him, take this thing. That's what tafweed is. Afwida. All of these things that they consider real, guess what? Oakland is on the map right now. And so are we. Going back to Oakland at the time, what does it do? It refreshes people of what Oakland has always stood for. It shows the people who've been writing books and all of that, just like they don't have, everybody know who's done stuff in Oakland. But not one writer has written anything about it. Right? It's just like you say, when they show people of the Harlem Renaissance, they don't show Hubert Harrison. If they show Oakland, they don't show me. Not that I want to be seen or nothing. But we revived Oakland, organized Oakland, and everything, and everybody knew it. They don't say, well, there's one thing that said the revolution, keep your eye open, right? And it's a threat. Here's your friend, look at him, life without possibility of parole. To me, it sounds like a threat. Here's your other friend, he's dead. He's got a big mouth, dead. We set him up. How many times do they think they would try to set me up? Thank God for dealing drugs in Colombia, in Mexico, because you can see a setup coming. They done tried 100,000 setups probably. There's so many of them and they're so regular, I don't even pay attention to half of them. I don't even mention them. They failed. All of us know, I'll close with this. Oakland has been a massive failure. If the government say we don't know nothing about them, then the UK sure knows because they done banned me from the UK, right? In both names, abdul-alim, Musa, and Clarence Reams. This is the ADL list. I got this is from Masjid al-Islam. This is the old original list, ADL's list. And ADL got it from the FBI. And the FBI had gave it to the San Francisco Police Department. One of the guys that had charged it, his name was Gerard. Roy Bullock, San Francisco police officer, and Tom Gerard. These were police that had FBI clearance, and they got all the files on the people to keep your eye on the watch list. Masjid al-Islam. This is from back in the 80s. So, do the white man know that we exist? Does the police monitor us? Evidently not, because we said that Mukhtar and Khadijah called my house saying that my grandson was dead, right? 6.5 hours before the police found him. Maybe been 8 hours, I forget. Right? So, they couldn't be monitoring me because if they were law enforcement officers and they heard that, they would look into it. If they cared anything about it. Right. So if my son is shot with, what was he shot, 6 times? And they don't even take no bloody clothes, don't tell them take nothing. At the hospital, I stood under the doctor. Kind of heavy set, I tell you, forget it. by the way, what do they do with the bullets? They have what do they call it?
Forensic team.
Do they have a team that? No, they just throw them away. That's all. Yeah. You can't do that, of course. This is against the law, right? This is against the law. If you come to the doctor and you got a bullet hole in it, he got to turn you in so he can fix you up, but he still got to turn you in.
File report.
You got to file that. The brother, Johnny Jones, he got 2 bullets in him. I took the bullets out. Here they are for y'all. Click, click, click. This is who he looked like. Here's his blood-splattered fingerprints on everything. You got to do that. But in my case, if your name is Reeves, slave name Reeves, you ain't, boy, look here. So anyway, how many African Americans or white Americans have ever had a program? This is a simple program, how to pump the FBI. I've never heard of one. Mukhtar and them telling me that something's wrong with me. They ain't never been arrested. They even shot the dogs. They ain't never had a ticket. They don't, look at here. And every time the police come to the Masjid, remember, this is dangerous. The last 3 or 4 times, the police the last time, they jumping through the windows of the Masjid. And they kind of getting a little rough. Now, I don't wrestle or tussle with the police because I did a 5-year sentence for assault, so I don't wrestle with them. I ain't gonna hit no police and get 5 years for a punch in the eye. I wouldn't do it. I did when I was young. I wouldn't do it now because I got more sense than that. At the time before that, a few days earlier, they got the SWAT team there in front of the masjid. Now, if that happened to any masjid, the newspapers would have all of that. Imam arrested, they have, people said the masjid was guns in there and weapons and explosives. That's what the police told me. That's why we take, because we got a call from this guy here. He said, I said, well, I got paperwork that shows that. Don't listen to me. Now, without all of this stuff, I'm going to say this. This is a new time, and this is a new era. It's actually our time. This is where all this, when you talk about destiny and all that, this is the type of destiny. Everything happened in the past for this reason. This is my belief. And so, for Oakland, those setbacks, what they call setbacks, in Oakland, where everybody leaves. We have all that property, we pay all those taxes, and we do this, that, and another. And if there's any work done on any of the property, I do it. And if I leave for any amount of time, Mukhtar will come by and dump stuff right over. He did it 4 or 5, just dump stuff. It seemed like as soon as he dumped, I take pictures when I leave, but next thing I go, we got a little sticker that said, trash, da, 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 da. That happens there, it happens here, and here we are. So the hidden story is a story of sabotage. It's a story of Oakland's success. The Islamic movement in Oakland, the Islamic organization, has withstood and overcome and thrived under more pressure and attacks than any other movement in American history. Okay, look at it. How many times has Marcus Garvey played a role? They might have raided the Panthers all around the country more, but they ain't rated no one place more than they rated ours. They ain't had it 100% saturated with tattletales. So, Abdul Malik, Mukhtar, Abdul Rahman, the school teachers, all of those people have to answer the history, every last one of them, for being government-supported agents, for sabotaging Masjid al-Islam and not being successful. That's the crime. If you got the white man and all of his stuff, the white man can open a masjid here today and have it full of people tomorrow. Allahu Akbar, everybody. Think they've been there 10 years. And he can clear one out. They did everything they have in the book, and they haven't affected us at all, except from design fitna. When you know your enemy and you can approach him in a way that you make him do to you what you want. Now the whole world knows about Oakland and D.C. And we're not on the avoidance or defensive. We're stepping up the game. We're trying to go all the way this time. Yeah, that's what it was all about. That's what's needed. Organizationally, spiritually, and every other way. There's 1 or 2 setbacks started there at Oakland. Gallantry. Nobody thinks of black people as gallant. It's a white person word. But we've been gallant, ethical, honorable, and too bad that they've been the opposite. And they don't get us when we whooped all up, eyes all puffed up, right? When they send all that at us, we say, y'all ain't nothing but a bunch of punks and sissies. You see what I mean? And that's true. So we won that game. We have won it in every single way. 100% victory. Now we're going to take advantage of the victory. See, you have to follow up the victory. Not in a mean way, but we have to educate people on, you can do it. We say it every week, but the people have to see an example. Right? This can be done. That's why Allah sent prophets, messengers, and other saintly people. This is the book. We can't live by that. Yes, you can. Here's an example. Kana kulukuhul Quran. His akhlaq, his ethics was the ethics of Quran. His behavior was the behavior of Quran. His carriage was the carriage of Quran. His attitude was the attitude of the Quran. And now guess what we're doing? Something that people thought impossible. J. Edgar Hoover said with his buffoonish self, sissified self, imagine his girlified self wearing girlified clothes and all kind of lipstick and burning niggas like, hey man, pervert maximum. It will be as hard for the Negro to practice, he didn't say Sunni Islam, but he said true Islam, as it would be for the elephant.
To put pants on that.
Huh?
To put pants on the
To
elephant.
put pants on the elephant, that's right. Well, we didn't fool him. Here we are. I would say we're 97% Negro. We are, just like I told the white man inside the principal, Ford Trekker, where's Ford Trekker, Pioneer School, white kids. Now it's integrated. We sure enjoyed your talk. You're the first real Negro I have ever said, yes, I am almost 100% Negro. Yes, sir. That's so funny. Look here. See, if people get mad at that stuff, they'll just be crazy. You can't disrespect me, call it. Yes, I am a Negro. Full-blooded. Probably 1 or 2%, just add another little engine. Maybe just corner white folks. But a Negro, still, full-blooded Negro. Because a full-blooded Negro have a little engine, have a little something. So I am a full-blooded Negro. And to whoop the pants off the white man. Do you know how bad read history. How bad do he whoop our people? He whooped the crap out of us. Not us. We done whooped him and made fun of him. Yes, we have. So that's our job. So we're going back to Oakland to do what Oakland do. See, they used to have a saying about Tombstone, Arizona, a town too tough to die. It was so bad and killing. That's the way Oakland is, a town too tough to die. So that's why we say Oakland and D.C. We starting from the lost causes of the world. Yeah. Oakland, D.C. Nothing will ever happen in that district. The mayors are this and people, they need a control board. They need help. I'll move for a close with the distant call. Call it what you like. Song of Freedom. It could be almost like a bugle call. It could be, no, it's a real call to people here. The preachers say, I've been called to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that's a nice call there. But it could be sound like a flute. It could be a freedom song. Okay, I'll admit it. I hear it. And I've been hearing it a long time. At first I didn't know exactly what it was, but I kind of moved toward it, the sound. And then when I found out what it was, accepting Islam wholeheartedly and not following the footsteps of the shaitan, that's what I've been doing. I'm not talking about me, because I've been trying to stop talking about me. But it's a little hard since not a whole lot of people jumping in on this one. You know, they'll jump in like before when it's assurance that you ain't gonna get hurt too much. You know, like the poet said, niggas is scared of revolution. I don't disagree with them, but that's not permanent, because they don't read about our history thoroughly. We done some good things as black people and as human beings, because this time it's not just for black people, it's for the world, and we're going to play a part of it. That's hearing the song. When you hear the song, you're going to dance to that music no matter what anybody do. That's what the freedom song is. You don't care about what other people listen to. You just don't care. You don't want to hear what they listen to. It don't make sense. So your goals become clear. Your behavior become clear, and it's the old saying, lock on and lock out. Lock on to your goals and where you're going. So lock on to this world, the good part, the mission part, and lock on to the hereafter. Lock on to it, and lock out all that other stuff. If we would have answered them Negroes acting a stupid fool in Oakland, we would be dead, broke, and poor, and nothing. If we'd answered the call in the 70s to the police, we would have been gone a long time ago. Only because everybody else that didn't That's what the belief in destiny, everybody have to get that clear for themselves. Everybody's destiny is different. Okay? All of the George Jacksons, Fleeta Drungos, and all those people that they killed, even the Martin Luther Kings and the Kennedys and the Malcolms and all that, when something happens like that in the past, we say, mashallah, it was the will of Allah. And it was. Can you imagine Martin Luther King being 90 years old around these niggas now? He would commit suicide. So would Malcolm. They never made it. They didn't committed suicide. They wouldn't have committed suicide, a physical suicide, but it would have been they might have went through it and recovered and, you know, got some job or something. But the momentum, see, that's what they used on us. The momentum that they used on King them and Malcolm them was the momentum of society. And that's going to produce repression and depression. So they used it on us many times, but they always got the other response. Never depression, never repression. Never being overwhelmed by the system of the society. Thank God for destiny. We all got one. But we have to search and see, is this an honorable destiny? It's like a goal. Goals should be also not only clear, not only focused, purposeful, but they should have, why am I doing this? You know, if I keep doing this, where am I going to wind up? You know, where am I going right now? Hey man, the last thing I'd like to say, dear people, hey, I'm not bragging, but you're missing out. And forgive me for saying this. I'm just telling you how people feel about it. If your job, going to work and coming home and paying bills, is a happy life, you call that, getting your kids' education, saving for that, that is the dullest ass job. I don't know how the hell you do it. I'm just telling you. I don't know how anybody could have the whole world sitting right out there in front of them. And I'm gonna get me a job, and I'm gonna pay my bills and die.